Well, it's morning and steering column is finally fitted. What a pain this has been to get in. It loosened off quite easily, but it did not want to cooperate. But it's done. It's done. Everything's eventually lined up, and a whole lot's put back in. So, yeah, I'll get rid of these tools here. And then I'm going to just continue figuring out some wiring, doodahs, runs. But one thing I am doing, I don't know if you can see that there, it's for one of the fog lights. I will put some sleeve over that. Because it is, of course, laying on top of there, and there's a couple of edges there, and eventually, you know, what could happen. So, and also, where is it at? I'll probably do the same thing for the headlight harness as well, because that goes across the top. So, but yeah, got to get these ends put back on. Yeah, you know, I've gotten over kicking myself for doing that, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so there's the run-in for the windshield wipers. I haven't worked the plug out yet. I'm probably going to do that either later today or tomorrow. But got some sleeving on there now. And this is what I meant by just getting the runs basically into place. Now, this comes down here, there's the plug there, and it when I get the plug back on there, it'll connect to there. But like I said, this is how I like to do it. Just get the runs basically put into place. I'll actually go up there. What I'll do is I'll also maybe have like a cable tie, a zip tie up there, and I'll just hold that in place. But yeah, this way works for me. I find it easy. Okay, so we are getting this figured out. These all go to the plastic connector, goes basically in there, and everything on here goes to that connector. Then it spreads out. Some of it comes to the ignition switch. Well, actually I'm saying some of it. That one there, the red with the black trace, that comes to the ignition switch, and that is the primary feed for well, basically everything off the ignition switch. Then the rest of this all goes to various systems within the van, but I'll get the plug on here first, and then we'll start figuring out what to do with this. Obviously I've still got this one to do, but yeah, like I say, I'm just trying to get everything roughed in basically. So this is the actual plug. It does look a little different, but actually, wait a minute, let's try this again. No, that is this one, isn't it? Oh, that's why I put them back to front. Okay, there we go. Hi, that is the original one, and that's the new one. I am just going to duplicate the pin out. I mean, there's no reason not to. But this will go onto there. That's the theory. So this is one of the examples of the variations in wiring here. If you look, see this here, it is blue and white, but on the new harness and on the wiring diagrams, it's brown and white. There isn't a blue-white cable in there. So I'm going to put it in, I'm not going to put it in the same slot as the blue and white one, just in case I do need it further down the line, in case there's something on this that isn't on the North American model. But yeah, I'll probably just stick it next to the red and black or something, of opposite the brown there. But yeah, that's one of the this is one of the problems I've had consistently. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, that's that one pinned out. I've got to figure this one out. Now, I think this goes into one of the other plugs, which is not provided with this harness. So let me grab a pick and I'll find the correct plug and we'll unpin it. Okay, so this is the ignition switch side. So I thought this actually was some sort of connector, but it appears that everything just, I can't do it with one hand, there you go, these just unplug. Huh. Oh well, just plug it back in there so I know where it goes. But yeah, I may as well just do the pin out on that. So I may as well just grab the terminals, put the terminals on the ignition switch, and then we'll figure it from here. Now what I've got to try and do is figure out how to get these contacts out of there, because obviously I want to replace all of that wire. But let's do this side first, and I'm going to take a photograph of this as well so that I've got a reference to where everything goes. That one there, the brown with the white trace, that one I'm not sure about. I'd have to have a look at the diagram again, see where that goes. But otherwise, that's everything there. It's looking straightforward enough. Well, there's the ignition switch wiring all sorted out there. What I've done is I have actually put the fabric tape on the harness, and because there's nothing else going to go in there, that's it. It's just the 4 cables. So I'll plug them in temporarily to this, where are we at, to that. Then I'll start figuring out all of this, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so there we go. Now what I'm going to do is obviously some of this goes down to this connector here, and this is the one that plugs into the main harness coming from the back of the van, which will be there. So what I will do is I will start to duplicate all of this, and yeah, I mean that's basically going to be it. That's going to be the process. Literally just yeah, duplicating what's already there. Now obviously my own wiring design, I'll start to alter that when I get over towards the actual fuse box. But all of this is basically just the way it came out of the factory. So anyway, I'm not going to shoot much video on this because obviously, you know, it's boring me coming back and showing you every time I've connected a cable, so, or a piece of wire. So we'll come back to this later when I've got a lot more of it in place. Now, just I want to show you this. Again, it's bits like this. This is another example of why I want all of this replaced. I will just stab myself in the thumb with it, but yeah, there's lots of breaks in the cables like this, and it looks like this has just been probably rubbing against something. But again, this is all potential fire risk, you know. So I do not have the connectors. Basically, it's the male terminals that go into there. I don't have them yet. They were supposed to be here yesterday, but they didn't arrive. So I'm just leaving this connected, and I'm just figuring out some of the other connections at the moment. But yeah, again, like I say, there's just lots of little bits like this, and yeah, you can put some tape over it, but it's also started to cut through the actual cable itself, and sooner or later that's going to fail. And there's just so many potential failure points on this, on the old harness. Like I said, I don't want to spend my days just chasing faults and also chasing other problems here and there. So, but yeah, anyway, let's get on with it. So I am having a bit of an issue here because this switch, I don't remember actually testing this inside when I had it off the van, but it does not appear to be working. The indicator stalk, the turn signal, yeah, it does not appear to want to work to the right. Even if I turn the wheel, so now this did seem to be working when it was off the van, but for whatever reason now it does not want to work. So I'm going to have to add those to the list. Damn. But yeah. Okay, so I've obviously got the switch back out, but I have also had it apart, and I've cleaned all the contacts up and got it all back together. I've got tape on it at the moment because I've got to bend these little tabs over. There are springs inside holding it together, so they're pushing it apart. So yeah, I've got the tape on just to hold it while I just get a hammer and a small screwdriver and just tap these back over. But I'm hoping that fixes it. There we go. And it's hard to do with just one hand, but yeah, the switch does basically work. So, oop, I dropped the camera there. But yeah, so I think I might have saved that. Yeah, the question is now figuring out how this all corresponds to the wiper motor. But one thing I have discovered is that the black with a grey trace, that does go to the wiper motor, but it also goes to the fuse box as well. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and have some lunch, have a bit play around with this on the circuit tester, and then we will get on with it. So after having the switch apart, I've made a few determinations. So this is the actual pinout and colours for the switch on the column itself, and this is a guesstimation of the pinout for the actual windscreen wiper motor. Now 31 ground, I think that's correct. I've been watching some videos of people fitting motors and what have you, and I've figured a few things out just from watching, being able to see the actual wiring on the plug. Now 53E, this green, I'm pretty sure that's where it goes. 53A, I'm pretty sure that's where that goes. Now, this is actually looking at the contacts coming from the motor. So you'll be, whatever the name of the plug. So that's basically looking at the back side of the plug. You can see that. I was looking from the back side. Now, 53A, something I have discovered about this is that, and I found it on a 76 wiring diagram. Now 53A goes to the switch, but also doesn't show it here because it's going off the screen, but it also goes to the fuse box. So we've got power coming from the fuse box to 53A on the switch, and also to the actual motor itself, and that I am assuming is for the park. It'll give it a park, and it'll also power these here. So 53B, actually it looks orange on the camera, but it's not. It's actually black with a yellow trace. That obviously comes back to the switch, and these are the actual positions. These are the contact positions on the switch. then of course we've got, what do we got? We've got 53. Now, this is where it's a guess at the moment. 53 and 53B, they're the two that I'm not sure about. I cannot get a clear view on any of the videos I've watched as to the position of these two. You can see the cables actually coming up, but you can't see where they go. So I'm going to have a dig around, see if I can find anything more, and just kind of confirm this is the correct pin out for this socket. Okay, it is actually the next day now, again, but I have got this back together and it appears to be working correctly now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the indicator turn signal one apart and do the same with that, and hopefully that solves the problem, and then I can get back to actually putting them back in and putting the correct ends on there. But yeah, it actually wasn't too difficult, although I did momentarily lose one of the tiny little springs out of it, and fortunately it had just literally fell right next to my foot. So I was in the house as well, by the way. I've never found it in this gravel. But anyway, let me grab the other one and we'll do the same with that, and then we'll get them all put back in. Okay, there we go. One, two, three, four. Okay. And flash. Hey. So, I mean, I know it took a bit of, a bit of time and everything, but I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how they have turned out. It's so. I think before I go any further, I think the thing I am going to do is I'm going to pop the fuse box out, and I'm going to sort out that plate, cut the bus bars in the fuse box that I need to cut, and then I can probably put it all back in and it can stay there. I don't need to take it back out again. I can make all of the connections outside of the fuse box. I don't actually need it out. I can't connect to it yet. Some of the items I had on order, it's Sunday now, by the way, they were supposed to be here Thursday, then Friday, and then Saturday. Now they're not arriving until tomorrow, Monday. So, but yeah, I may as well get that done, get it put back in, and then that's it fitted permanently. And yeah. Okay, so got it drilled there. I'm going to cover it with that piece of carpet, but what I'll do with the carpet is it'll be cut so that the carpet will actually fold over this edge, and that will also protect the cables, so there won't be any rubbing against this piece of aluminum. Okay, there we go, and a nice little felt edge there which will keep everything nicely protected. What I might do is I do have some rubberized tape. I might actually put some of that around the edge as well, just to be sure, because like I say, I don't want cables rubbing against this edge and ending up shorting out. Okay, so we're mounted in there now. I'll probably have to take it in and pop it in and out a few more times, but it's covered, it's in, so that's its final resting spot, so to speak. And there is that panel that goes up here. I don't actually know how high up it goes, but there is a panel that goes around, covers all of that up, and I am going to cover it in the fabric. So, yeah, it is cold today. I can't feel my fingers very much, so I'm not going to do that today. Well, back in the conservatory again. I've got my wiring diagrams, switches, and I think this is all the cable that I need. So yeah, let's just grab the first switch and get into it. I think I'll start with the headlight one, because that's probably going to be the easiest, possibly. Yeah, because I've already got cables on this, so yeah, I can just basically put the terminal on and then follow it back. Okay, so that's where the emergency flasher switch goes, and I'm just checking the lengths here because basically that comes up from the column there and that connects to there, so I'm just wanting enough length so that it can be tucked back up there and wound into the loom. But yeah, I'm happy with the length of that. That'll work okay. That now, one thing I do need to point out with this, there will be additional connections made to this because we have left and right turn signals, indicators that also have to be hooked up to this. So but yeah, I think I might just take maybe an inch or two off that and bring it down to there just to make it a little bit more manageable, but I'm happy with the length of that. Just give you an idea basically. Yeah, cut it about there. Okay, so we now have these the basic harness made for these. Now this goes to the indicator turn signal stalk. That actually goes to the high and low beam, but this is for the turn signals. Now these two here, they do have to be spliced because this also is the main feed to or from the turn signal indicator relay, and also it feeds all of the lights. But I've just left it like that for the moment because once I get the actual wiring in for the turn signals, then I will splice it into these. We've got switched power, we've got main power, always on power. Obviously these are for the excuse me, my nose is dripping, but that's going to be a permanent ground. That I've left the cable long because I've got a few other bits need to be connected to that, so that's just been left for the moment. This will actually go to the headlamp relay. Obviously you do need a ground on this switch here for the little indicator bulb there. Although, in all honesty, I don't really know why you need that, because that will also, it'll flash the two lights on the dashboard. So, headlamp switch, that I've still got a couple to do on that. These two are for the side lights, the running lights, marker lights, whatever you want to call them. Obviously they're in the main harness, so I've just left those there so I know where they go. This is the feed that comes from the fuse box. Again, I haven't done anything with that yet because that feed also goes to a couple of other locations, and so I'm not overly concerned about putting that in yet. I'll wait until the switches are actually mounted and then that will go in at that point. This one here comes from that same feed on terminal 30, and that also will go to power this. It's not on the original wiring diagram. This is taken off this feed at a different location, but given that these two switches are within a few feet of each other, it's easy enough just to put a pigtail on and jump it across. And that's basically it for tonight. It's, as you can't see because it looks light on the camera, but it is getting dark here, hence me having the light on. So I'm going to pack this away, then I can take care of my dripping nose, and we'll actually get these switches installed tomorrow. Oh, one other thing that my only concern is, where are we at? One of these terminals, I think is it that one? So one of these terminals is very, very loose. Might be that one. I don't remember. One of the terminals on here is very, very loose. So if it comes to it, I may have to replace this switch. But this one will do basically as an analog, so I can get the harness built around it. So, oh, there's one more to go on, which again I have not connected up yet. But that is the blue feed of 49A, and that goes all the way to the fuse box anyway. So I tell a lie, that goes to the turn signal relay. So that one I will get sorted tomorrow. It's just, I'm running out of light. It's just getting dark here, and it's just awkward in here. You know, it's better off doing this tomorrow when I can see what I'm doing. So, obviously I'm back out of this. A couple of things. First of all, I've decided I am going to take these back off because I just had a brainwave during the night, and that is, I don't need to mess about trying to get in here to pin these out in the cold. I can just pop them out, crimp the pins on, slide them back through, and then put the plug on. So yeah, you know. But I realised that I'd made a mistake yesterday. Well, I made it last night, another night of not sleeping well. I was just laying there thinking about this, and I was like, wait a minute. These are the fog light, front and rear fog light connections. I've got 2 feeds from each switch going basically to the fuse box, and I don't need that. What I need is, I need one cable from each to the fuse box, and the second one goes to the side lights. Anyway, I'm going to sort that out. And plus, the second thing is, there is already a feed to the side lights in here, because it'll come, well, the switch will be here, it'll come off the switch. So all I need to do is just daisy chain it across to the other switch, and then I can bring one feed off for the dashboard lights, basically pigtail to the dashboard lights, and then yeah, that's all I need. Switch. Let's get this right. I can see it in my mind, I'm just not doing a good job at explaining it. So, headlamp switch. Headlamp, side light, marker light switch. From that to one fog light switch, from that to the next fog light switch, and from that to the dashboard lights. Now, this is all low current stuff. Basically, all these switches are going to do is activate a relay, so they're not carrying any real current. So I'm not concerned about them all being daisy chained together. Right. Now that that's explained, all I've got to do is do it. Okay, that's better. So I will now make up the pigtails that I should have made up to begin with, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so this is my piece of harness. There will be more cables going through this, so that'll come at a later date. So there's some of this taping isn't done. Anyway, we start off here. This is the feed coming off the headlamp switch. That will feed to the rear fog light switch, front fog light switch, and then this one will go to the dashboard illumination. This long pigtail here, that will power the relays. Basically going yellow for front fog lights, white for rear. And the only reason I'm doing that is, if you're wondering, is because I had a little bit more white cable than I did yellow, so I didn't want to have to splice lengthen that cable. So I've got the right amount there to get to the fuse boxes, where if it went the other way around, I would have had to add some to the yellow. And but yeah, that's it. I can now set this roughly into place. Again, this is just building it all up. I've got, like I said, there's a lot more cabling to go through there. So, but yeah, let's go and get this one stuck into place. Okay, there we go. It's now installed. And of course, headlamp switch will be about there, and that will just pin onto there. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I've said, I think I said earlier on in this video, this is a slow process. This does not, you don't do this quickly. It's even if you've got a pre-built harness, it still can take some time to get everything routed in. But when you're building it yourself, Yeah, and obviously, like I showed you earlier this morning, you do make mistakes and you've got to backtrack a little bit, but you know, again, that's just the way it is. And something big going past. What is it? Oh, tractor. That's not that big, just sounds big. Anyway, let's get on with this. Well, here we go. We now have most of the harness made for the turn signals indicators. Now, four-way emergency flasher. On this end, we do have the connections to the stalk on the steering column. That's for the high-low beam, that's that one there. So what we have is basically down to the four-way flasher switch. This is the connection here. That's for the left and right. There's a feed will come off here. One will go to the rear left. One will go to the rear right. Front left, front right. And yeah, these are basically. That's obviously a ground. These are connections to the fuse box and to the relay. And that's it. We're basically there. That's ready to go in now. Oh, not one. I still have that primary feed to put in there. That actually comes from the headlamp switch, but I've just left that on there, that just offcut there, just so I know that's what that's for. But okay, all done. Oh look, it's raining and it's windy, and my butt connectors that I ordered arrived. These aren't them. This is not what I ordered. First of all, these look like probably for, I don't know, 16 gauge plus. Come on, focus. Maybe probably 15, 16, 18 gauge, something like that cable. I ordered 10 to 12 gauge butt connectors, and they should have had a big wide strip in the middle. These are the sealable ones. Basically the idea is that when you heat them up, that there is actually adhesive, and it compresses around the cable and makes a nice waterproof seal. So that part of them is correct, but yeah, not what I ordered. Great. Anyway, I'm just going to carry on from yesterday and I'm just plugging away at the moment, just doing little bits here, little bits there, just whatever I can get done. I'm not shooting a lot of video at this stage because it's the same thing over and over again. It's very repetitive, so that's good, things are blowing away. I'll give you updates as I go along anyway, so yeah. Well, on that bombshell, I think I'll bring this video to a close. And as usual, thanks to everybody that watches. Like, subscribe, and come back and see me sometime. Have a good one.